Have you ever wondered why Rolex and other brands frown upon flipping? Ever wondered how and why flipping is so bad? Wait, is it so bad? The debate of whether flipping is good or bad has been going on for ages. And every time it becomes a hot topic, the watch market quickly picks sides. Some consumers don't mind flipping, and others can't stand the idea of it. So looking at it from an unbiased perspective, what really is the problem with flipping and the gray market? And what are watch brands like Rolex doing about it? Before we continue, we wonder if these terms flipping and the gray market are unfamiliar to you. If they are, then no worries. Let us quickly explain. Watch flippers are those who purchase timepieces with a short holding period with the intent of selling them for a quick profit rather than holding on for the long term. And the gray market is made up of dealers who are not part of the Rolex's network of authorized dealers. Because they are technically owners themselves, these gray market Rolex dealers can only sell used watches. Most of the time, they are not the first people to own the Rolexes they sell, but sometimes they are. Gray market Rolex dealers get most of their stock in one of two main ways. Most of the time, someone will sell their watch directly to a dealer. The second way is when a dealer, with the right to do so, sells a lot of stock at once. Now, the second way they get inventory is just an assumption, since no authorized Rolex dealer will ever admit to it. The second method Rolex ADs use is by packaging a popular stainless model with two watches that have been in their stock for a while, and the popular watch remains off record. Now, you may have noticed that we've been saying Rolex, Rolex, but don't think that the gray market is for Rolex watches alone. Other brands like Patek Philippe are affected by flipping and the gray market activity. The same tricks, or methods, however you want to call them, work for every watch brand and flippers. So the question is, who benefits the most from flipping and the gray market? One might initially assume that the gray market would benefit customers, given that it provides them with an opportunity to get Rolex models that are unavailable at official Rolex retail outlets. However, when you look at it more, you find that you're almost as powerless as if you'd gone to an official dealer. The major concerns surrounding the gray market affect customers more than some of us are willing to admit. So let's look at them a little, shall we? First, prices are 20 to 100% above the suggested retail price. The Rolex gray market is well versed in the fundamentals of supply and demand. These unlicensed sellers are well aware that most customers will not be able to find these models from legitimate retailers. As a result, Rolex prices, especially for stainless steel sports versions, have risen dramatically over the past 5 to 6 years. The next major concern is this: the Rolex counterfeit business is sophisticated. So be wary if you shop for an expensive brand like Rolex online or in person, especially since fakes can easily pass for the real thing. There is a significant amount of fraud on the gray market for rare and popular Rolex models, and victims often lose a lot of money. Also, when purchasing a Rolex Submariner that is more than 20 years old on the secondary market, the original manufacturer's warranty is null and void. If you buy a new 2022 Air King or GMT Master 2 from an AD and immediately resell it, you'll pay more than retail and lose the Rolex guarantee. The truth is, everyone wants a brand new, never worn stainless steel Rolex. But are the hidden and obvious prices really justified? Plus, you're not getting the most out of your investment. Rolex watches tend to rise in value over time due to low production rates and high consumer demand. Rolex also performs a great job of gradually increasing prices so that owners may keep their investments growing. Consequently, if you want to buy a Rolex on the gray market, you'd better be prepared to pay a premium, especially for the hottest models. As a result, you're probably paying the highest bid in the market and losing money on your investment. Now, have you ever thought about the fact that watches you may buy won't be right for you? The reality is, this happens to many of us a lot. There is no way to tell whether anything will fit, or if you'll enjoy it, if you can't try it on at the store, if the model you want isn't there. Again, it's happened to us all. We see a watch we like on the internet, but when we finally get the chance to try it on, we realize it's not a good fit. This has become really common when buying from the gray market. So you see that for the consumer, flipping and the gray market aren't exactly beneficial. But that's not all. What does the gray market do to watch brands? Let's use Rolex as a case study again. Honestly, the obvious price increase aside, the gray market's most significant impact on Rolex customers is something else entirely. As the gray market has expanded, it has become more challenging to purchase a new Rolex from a legitimate retailer. The gray market has made it more challenging to obtain any Rolex model, whether it's a Submariner, Explorer, GMT, or something else entirely. The growth of the gray market for Rolexes is primarily motivated by the desire to make a profit. If you have the means to purchase a Hulk, you can easily sell it on the gray market the next day for more than $4,000 profit. What this means for the average Rolex buyer as opposed to the flipper is that there is now far less chance of snagging the timepiece at the original price. As more and more flippers buy these watches, true collectors are left with no choice except to pay twice the suggested retail price on the black market. So what evidence do we have that this is happening at an unprecedented rate? Let's use a scenario that happened 2 years ago to explain. So in 2020, Rolex updated its most popular watch, the Submariner. As soon as merchandise reached official Rolex retailers, it began appearing on the gray market. That implies a lot of people who had first dibs on the new subs sold their rights and bought others. What starts in the local markets will ripple out and affect how people think of the brand as a whole. Many consumers and would-be Rolex purchasers are becoming frustrated with current market conditions. People are pointing fingers at both Rolex and the ADs. And if we are being honest, we think both ADs and Rolex are at fault here. But what is our dear brand Rolex doing about all this? We know that Rolex is just as concerned about flipping in the gray market as the rest of us. Rolex hates to be the last to know about consumers flipping a watch. They want to hear about things first. So step 1. Rolex has been conducting reverse history checks on timepieces that have been sold on the gray market. What this implies is that they are using serial numbers to trace back to the original Rolex Authorized dealer, identify the original purchaser, and inquire as to when and to whom the watch was subsequently sold. Wow, that's incredible, right? According to what we know, Rolex has even warned consumers about specific sellers to avoid when purchasing a timepiece. This shows that Rolex is concerned about the satisfaction of its gray market customers. But that's not all. Rolex has implemented a new policy that prevents consumers from purchasing more than 3 timepieces annually. Will this prove to be effective? Only time will tell. Considering that many believe that flipping is not a bad thing and shouldn't be that big a deal to watch brands, we know that this new policy isn't sitting well with many. The gray market would obviously lose money because of this new policy, and the recent market prices aren't making things any easier for flippers. Finally, we conclude that the imbalance of supply and demand is the root source of both the flipping problem and the gray market. Brands often cause flipping by pressuring authorized shops to sell popular timepieces for considerably less than they're worth. Merchants realize the watches could be lucrative investments, yet stand to gain nothing from selling them. What would you like to see Rolex and other watch brands really do about the flipping situation? Let us know in the comments.